Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I'm Devon if you're new here. If you guys didn't know, I do have a podcast with my best friend Lauren. We went to Cabo for her birthday trip, so I wanted to post the episode of the podcast that we filmed while we were there. We are just getting started out and honestly figuring out the kinks as we go, so the sound in the first half of this is a little bit wonky, but we're learning and I hope you guys enjoy it, and please give me feedback. We don't typically do video, but you can find our podcast wherever you currently listen to podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
What's up, guys?
Hello, I'm Devon.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is the D-Lo. Oh my gosh, guys, let me set up the scene for you right now. We're sitting in Los Cabos on Miss Lauren San Diego's 30th birthday trip.
We are here. We are here in beautiful Mexico. And let me just say, we are looking at the most incredible ocean backdrop right now. Basically, our house is like on a cliff.
Yeah.
And we're just staring at the ocean right now, and the water is incredibly blue. I can't even believe it.
And when you're further from the ocean, at least for me, it looks like it's moving in slow motion. So it looks like the waves are crashing on the shore, just gently kissing the shoreline. This is just a beautiful little
oasis.
Oasis.
We were playing a little charades last night, and the category was desert, and I acted out oasis, and Devon said that.
That word has never been in my vocabulary. I don't think I've ever said that word. I knew that word, obviously.
Yes, you're not stupid.
I've just never said that word, but now I'm going to start saying it. This is the perfect time. This is an oasis.
An oasis.
So like we said, we're here on Lauren's 30th birthday trip, and I just want to hear from you. What was the thought process in planning? What made you choose Cabo? This group of people that's here together. Talk us through the planning of this birthday trip.
As everyone knows, 30 is a big year, right? There's certain milestone birthdays. So when you turn 16, you know, your parents are kind of planning that. You don't really have that much of a say in it. I wasn't one of those, you know, kids on my Super Sweet 16 where I got a car and a mansion and all that.
Yeah.
And then 21st birthday, I don't know about you, but I was broke and was just
in
a degenerate.
College.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. A little degenerate in college and just wanted to, you know, drink and have fun with my friends.
Right.
Didn't do anything crazy. But then I feel like, you know, as you get older, the birthday milestones kind of slow down, and it's really every 10 years. So every decade. And I thought 30 is a big deal. I'm trying to simultaneously make it a big deal, but also not make it a big deal so I don't freak myself out. So I really wanted to do something. I don't know. I feel like with trips, sometimes you have people that like expect a surprise or something, or they're like, it's their birthday and I have high expectations. And they're like, oh, maybe my friends will surprise me, or maybe so-and-so will plan this dinner or whatever. I didn't want to leave fate into anyone else's hands. I was just like, I want to go on a trip with all of my friends, take control. Whoever is in, and we'll just have an amazing time. So I thought Cabo would be pretty easy because coming from San Diego, the flight was like an hour and a half, right? Never been to Cabo. You had never been to Cabo?
Never,
either, right?
no, yeah.
So we had a lot of Cabo virgins on this trip, which was fun. Cabo is beautiful, and there's only a 1 hour time change, and we actually fly out of Tijuana, so we use this service called Cross Border Express, or CBX, and you can basically get a ride with this service called Wheels, and they pick you up at your house, they drive you to the border of Mexico, and you cross the border on foot and then go through customs and everything, and then you can fly out of the TJ airport. It's like you're taking a domestic trip versus flying international.
This is not an ad, but we do love Cross Border Express.
Yeah, as far as like the group goes, I just feel like when planning a group trip, whether it's just a friend trip, I don't know, I've been on a few bachelorette parties at this point too, and I feel like, you know, when you have different groups of friends, in your head you're trying to craft together which of my friends are gonna, not that any of my friends would like duke it out or anything, but it's like which of my friends are gonna get along and really just like have the similar vibe to each other. Yeah. Most of my friends are kind of silly, goofy, like not taking themselves too seriously, but I do have a couple of friends that are like on the more serious side. They're not on this trip.
They're at home. And I think whenever you bring a bunch of people together, you do somewhat feel responsible for how everyone's meshing, if people are getting along with each other. And I think the group of people here is perfect. Yeah. It's been fun getting to know your friends from childhood.
And yours too.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell about Jess.
Jess is a friend who we have been friends since 4th grade, and she is my friend who is down for anything.
She actually is.
She is down for anything. Whenever I bring up these random random things to her. She's like, yeah, I already bought my ticket, so let's go. Lauren was looking for someone else to come on this trip, and you wanted everyone to have a buddy because that is definitely important to reduce your stress, right? So I just mentioned it to her. She's like, girl, I already booked my trip, so.
And she brings really great energy too.
Always wanting us to have fun.
She makes a mean margarita.
She makes
a little too mean.
Definitely a very efficient margarita.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this group came together and we've all been having a really great time. The first day, we actually went a little too hard. We were supposed to go out the first night. In my head, I kind of wanted to get it over with because as Devon and I have mentioned on previous episodes,
we're grandmas.
We're just a couple of grannies. The thing is about Cabo, if you've been, or even if you haven't been, there's this section of Cabo San Lucas, which is just really trashy bars and clubs. And they are incredible and kind of obscene.
Yeah, so the first night, we had a lovely man by the name of Miguel making us drinks for about 4 hours. One thing led to another, and Miguel had all of us comatose by the end of the night.
Quick question, how many margaritas did you have?
I only had 5. Yeah.
Oh, but you had doubles.
Oh, okay, I did have, I'm saying I only had 5. Yeah, I had 5 margaritas, 3 of which were doubles. So I had a good bit. But it was over a very prolonged period of time.
Yes.
I'm telling you guys, we walk into this door, they give us a drink. Then we had a hibiscus margarita, and for some reason, that just wasn't enough for me. I was like, I need more. Then I started asking for doubles. Then Miguel brought out a shot or 2.
Yeah, Miguel was really just serving it up.
Yeah, it's hard to count after one.
One margarita. We did play that song a couple of times.
We did.
It's the long form version is really.
Look it up. My mom might be listening to that.
So after that, we were supposed to go out that night. Everyone was down for the count. We all went to bed. We woke up. We had a nice breakfast, and then we went to this place called Flora Farms. I've always wanted to go. For anyone who's been to Cabo, I feel like everyone who goes here talks about it, and it's just so beautiful. It's like this entire, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like acres of land with like crops, and they're growing their own food.
Food was so fresh. Everything was kind of outdoors. It was covered, but open air.
They had these really pretty like glass hearts dangling, and they're shining in the sun. Yeah, that was really cool. And then we came back, and then we had a little dinner together. We all dressed in white. I've always, basically I tried to cram all of my like fantasies that I've ever wanted in a party like into one trip.
But I love that though. I think we talked about it in maybe the first episode, how girls are really trying to find their way back to the things that made them, their younger selves, happy, but now they're not embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So we all dressed in white, we had dinner, and then a group of us went out. Oh my god, these clubs were so just raunchy. Okay, this part is a little bit, not graphic, I'll say, but I do feel a little bit bad for these people because they have a bunch of people that are on the streets selling these banners, and it's definitely for bachelorettes and bachelor parties and things like that, but everyone is pulling up these banners that just say like, I eat ass. It's like really vulgar sayings on sashes, and they're everywhere. Yeah.
I'm screaming.
So that was the norm in Cabo. We're just like walking around and people are like, here, buy this sash. And it says those words on it, and you're just kind of like, oh, no thanks.
No thanks. Some of the people selling things on the street, they're like 7-year-old girls.
Yes, yes.
And if you don't want to buy what they're giving you, they say, well, how about just $5 for me?
Give me $5 because I'm cute.
ER was struggling.
ER is my friend Danny's boyfriend.
And ER is probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. And he's so quietly funny. Like, he's not out here cracking jokes.
No,
just
it's
like,
a subtle thing.
Just the way he is, I'm like, I can't help but laugh right now.
So the little girl was like batting her eyelashes.
Yeah, batting her eyelashes at him. He's like, how long are you out here for?
How many hours you been on the clock?
Okay, back
Did she get the money?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
no.
ER,
come on, have a heart. Danny and ER is a couple though. I love them.
Yes.
Like, I absolutely love them.
Big energy.
Big energy, but they complement each other so well.
Yes. Yeah. ER is a more quiet energy, and Danny's a more just.
And
like,
Danny's life of the party energy.
Yes,
yeah.
Totally.
Okay, back to your night out.
Okay, so the first place that we went to, I'm gonna put them on blast, and I don't care because.
Oh wow.
This place, Capital, don't go there. This place overcharged charged us for our drinks. They like forced us into this VIP section, and then they made my friend Laura pay extra because we were in the VIP section. So when she got her drink bill, it was just like it was an obscene amount for our drinks. And let me tell you about those drinks.
Were they awful?
Worst margarita of my life.
No.
It wasn't even a margarita. I don't know what they're doing down here, but vanilla tequila floating around in some of our drinks. And then we're like, okay, maybe it's just the margaritas. Like, let's get like just a couple of tequila sodas. Tasted like stale water. I don't even really know how to describe that, but just like stale water with like a hint of rubbing alcohol.
That's criminal in Mexico.
It was really bad. The tequila is great here. So
yeah, and it's so cheap too.
Yeah. Then, however, our luck started to change. We ended up going to this place called Mandela, I think, and that was fun. And listen, I'm not into clubs, but this was like a total club vibe. Like purple lights, big DJ, big dance floor. Everyone was kind of like crowding around. They had the bottle service girls. If it's your birthday or bachelor or whatever, you can order like bottle girls to come over. Right. They have all this like the lights and the sparklers.
And they're like
yeah, and the sign and everything, and like a bottle of tequila, whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that they did it again, and in my head I was like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't have. And I literally went up to the bottle girls and I started dancing with them. They were kind of taking their little sparkler sticks and just like swaying back and forth. Right. And I started going with them for maybe 20 seconds until they realized that they went to the wrong table and they were supposed to go to the guy's table right next to us.
I'm getting secondhand embarrassment.
I just kept dancing. It was fine. But they literally just like all dispersed behind me and I was like still going. And everyone's like, gosh. Lauren, that wasn't for you. They went over to the guy's table right next to us. And they were only there for like 5 seconds because I took all their time. Right. And then the guys are like, those were our bottle girls.
You snooze, you lose.
That was night 2. Day 3 was so much fun.
Lauren made a beautiful itinerary for this entire weekend, and day 3 we really didn't have anything going on other than the little sunset yacht cruise, and it was the best day ever. Yeah. I think it was my favorite day of the few days we've been here.
Me too.
We all just chilled in the pool, we made drinks, we listened to good music, ate chips and guac. Like, I was being fed chips and guac while I was in the pool.
And the flavor of music, it ranged from Uncle Cracker to
Shania Twain.
Yes.
A little bit of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was so good.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
And I feel like on vacation, sometimes we forget to incorporate a day where you're not really doing anything. Sometimes, and I'm definitely a culprit of this, but I do this often on my trips, is I will pack an itinerary like over the brim and it'll just be overflowing with activities. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that gets really exhausting to the point where you're not even, not that you're not having fun, but it's like you're not relaxing on your vacation. Right. And so for that day, I really wanted us to just like relax and have a good time at the pool and do whatever we wanted. Then we went on this gorgeous yacht, and it's called Cabo to Vegas, Cabo number 2 Vegas. Mm-hmm. The reason I'm saying that is because they were wonderful, and if you're getting a yacht in Cabo, you should work with them. I love being on a boat in general. It doesn't even matter what kind of boat. Put me on a sailboat. Put me on a dinghy. Put me on a raft out in the middle of the ocean.
Shoot, put me in a canoe. I'll paddle.
I'll paddle. So we were out on this yacht, and it was just so beautiful. We went to the arch, and in Cabo San Lucas, there's this famous like rock formation that's in the shape of an arch. Mm-hmm. Everyone goes there, takes pictures.
So iconic.
Yeah, we went there. We took some pictures. We were flying my drone around. Mm-hmm. It's the most beautiful thing happened. So it's whale season right now, also in Mexico. We have seen not only on this boat, but throughout this entire weekend. Yeah, we've seen probably, I don't even know how many whales.
We just see whales passing all day long.
Yes,
they're a lot more active in the morning.
Yes,
but we were hoping that we would see one on this boat.
Yes, and we saw several, and they're humpback whales,
up close and personal.
Yeah, and they were waving. Yeah, and they were jumping out of the water. They were breaching. They were giving the whale tail.
We got a tail. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I think, I don't know, for me, whenever I see an animal encounter that close,
yeah,
I don't know, this is so cheesy that I'm about to say this, but it really just puts life into perspective for you about how small you are compared to like the rest of the world, mm-hmm. and also just like other creatures on the planet. Right. And it was just perfect. We did that, the sunset, we came back. We went to this taco place. We got tacos.
Delicious tacos.
Yeah, really good tacos that my friend Dax suggested. Greg, my other friend Katie's boyfriend, forced margaritas on everyone.
Literally forced. It was delicious though, so.
They were also in like fish bowls.
They were huge.
They were not served in glasses.
Frozen mango margaritas.
Yeah, in like goblets and fish bowls. And then we came back, we played some heads up and some charades by the fire pit.
Guys, this game got so so heated. I'm just gonna say my experience standing up there, it feels like all of the voices in your head are like out to play and just like yelling at each other. Like you're standing up there trying to understand, you're trying to lock in with one person, but then someone else is yelling your name.
Yes.
You're like, oh my gosh. I think I said while I was up there, I feel like the walls are closing in on me. That's what it feels like.
Yes, it feels like you have 10 personalities. It's like that Pixar movie, what's it called?
Inside Out?
Yes, Inside Out. With all your different emotions, like, in front of you, like, screaming your name, acting it out. And I'm sorry I did this, but essentially what happened is Devon was up there trying to guess her word. And I was screaming at her, and Jess was screaming at her at the same time. We were both just like, Devon, look! And expecting her to get it the more and more times we just, like, said your name, Devon.
Yeah, exactly.
And the word ultimately was Spanx.
I was guessing Skims. I was guessing shapewear. I think I even said shapewear.
You did. You also said BBL, let's not forget.
It's a sign of the times.
You're in modern culture.
Exactly. We're modern day women. We talk about BBLs.
Yes. We played some charades, some heads up, and overall just like a really funny, nice way to end the evening. It just felt very wholesome, like we were at camp.
Such a wholesome little night. Yeah.
So that was it. That was our night. But you know what we didn't talk about?
What did we not talk about?
Our treacherous beach trip.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm so glad we're here.
I know.
Like we've said before, we are looking at the most stunning, gorgeous view, and we are actually up on a hill, which allows us to have this beautiful view. But when getting down to the beach, it's a bit more of a trek than we bargained for. One of our friends has stayed here before. She was like, oh yeah, there's like a little pathway that goes down to the beach. In our head, we're like a set of stairs that goes straight from our house to the beach. No, ma'am.
No.
We are walking down a ton of hills, and as we're walking down these hills, I'm clocking, we're gonna have to come back up here.
For every hill we go down, it's one hill we must go up.
So we walk down these massive hills, and then we get to a point where I look ahead and I'm like, I think the sidewalk ends. Like, I think there is a hole in the sidewalk. It looked like there was nothing underneath. We would have to be running and jumping to get onto the next.
Like parkouring to get to the beach.
To get to the beach.
It was a lot longer of a journey than we bargained for.
Right. But once we got to the beach,
it was so nice.
It was the most refreshing dip I think we've ever done.
Yes. It was so nice. It was really salty though, I will say that. But absolutely gorgeous, like beautiful clear water.
Yeah,
you can see right down to your feet. It was amazing. That was our Cabo trip. Overall, amazing trip. I'm so grateful for my friends, because also it's a lot to ask your friends. I know I have amazing friends and they're down to do anything pretty much, but it is a big undertaking to go on a trip for someone of this caliber, you know, to ask someone or to, you know, spend money on someone like this. And so I just really appreciate it, and I had such an amazing time, and I feel like everyone felt like it was a vacation in general. I didn't want it to feel like it was like birthday. I wanted it to be like everyone's just like on vacation together, and it also just happens to be my birthday.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of you. Obviously, I love that you are in my life, and we've only known each other for like a year. But I do feel so grateful to have you in my life. So this is just the cherry on top of all of it.
Yeah. Agree. Right back at you, sister.
Well, thanks.
I actually do want to hear, not about the trip, but you were talking about this earlier, and I thought it was so interesting, and I want you to talk about it. Talking about creative directing your life, and I feel like we kind of creative directed our life this weekend and made it what we wanted it to be, but I just like really love the concept. You know, we're halfway through January now, at the beginning of the year still. I feel like there's a lot of room for people to still implement this idea to their life.
Right. I'm a little crazy for doing this, but every single year I will make a little pitch deck to myself as if I'm the creative director of my life. So I'll say what I want my life to look like, I'll say what I want myself to look like, what I want my home to look like, all of these things, and I put them into different Pinterest boards. The reason why I love this creative direction of your life is because once you start paying attention to the smaller details in your life to make your life look a certain way, it will look that certain way.
And I think the whole concept in general, and really we heard about this from, we like this other podcast, What We Said, with JC and Chelsea. They talked about this a little bit, and I don't know. We thought that was such a cool concept, and that you can really apply it to your everyday life too. And I don't know, it's basically like also being intentional with your choices and just making stuff happen for yourself. Like if you want to go on that trip, or you want X, Y, and Z, or you want to be healthier, you want to eat a certain way, or whatever it is, you can make it happen for yourself. All you have to do is just start doing it and art directing your life and making life happen for you and not just letting life happen to you. Okay, speaking of
JC
Marie, we have a little bit of a fangirling moment over JC Marie because
I love her.
I love her
I
so
love
much.
her.
And Chelsea too.
Yes.
But they are just so genuine, kind. I love listening to their podcast. And recently, JC has been sharing her IVF process, just like going through the IVF and sharing like really raw emotions and just, you know, her journey through it all. And she just shared that she is pregnant. And honestly, as soon as I saw it, I texted Devon in all caps and I was like, JC's pregnant! Like, she's our best friend. We've literally never spoken to her in my life.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Anyway, I just like a little pop culture moment for everyone if you follow her. If you don't, you should.
You should. And JC has been trying to get pregnant, I think, for like 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And she shared a little bit about her IVF and infertility journey right when she started. I think because of the comments and all that, she was just like, I'm not sharing this. You know, I don't want to share this. Yeah. So I kind of internalized that, thinking she's never going to talk about this again until she is pregnant.
Yeah.
Then she posted episode 1 of her IVF journey, and I was like, I know she's pregnant. I just know she's pregnant. And then I started, you know, doing a little bit of a deeper dive, which I am slightly embarrassed to say, but I'm glad I figured it out. I'm glad that I cracked the code. Okay, now that we've exposed ourselves for being obsessed with JC, I want to know what some other current obsessions of yours are.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know we share this one, but Netflix just released its 2nd season of Breakpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like actually a lot of people have gotten into tennis recently, just over the last couple years with like the TikTok girlfriends of like the tennis stars and everything. And I've loved tennis for a while actually, because my dad used to play tennis just like casually, not like professional obviously, but he was really good at tennis. And so I was always really interested in it, but I never tried because I think we talked about this on our other episode. When it comes to new things, like I want to be good at them. And if I'm not good at them, I shy away from them because I just get self-conscious and I don't want to be bad at things. And with tennis, that was that same thing. But eventually I did take lessons during the pandemic. I was taking a couple of lessons with one of my best friend's brothers. He taught me how to play tennis. And then over the years, I like kept playing here and there with some friends, especially when everything was like shut down. Recently, Mike and I went to Palm Desert and stayed at La Quinta, and we took a tennis lesson there. Mm-hmm. And Mike also got really into it. And then for Christmas, I got him and myself tennis club membership, and we're going to start playing tennis. But anyway, that all connects back to Breakpoint, which is such a good show on Netflix. It's amazing. I think another obsession that I've had recently is yoga. I've been going to yoga 3 times a week, every week now, and I feel so incredible. Just like my mind is clear, I feel stronger, just all the really good things. So I would say those are my 2 biggest obsessions so far in January.
And you've been doing hot yoga like really early in the morning too.
I go at 6 a.m. because the thing is if I work out later in the day, I can't motivate myself to get there. Like something will come at work and I keep pushing it off. So when I wake up, I need to go work out, and then it's like a release and I can start my day and feel good, like there's not a cloud hanging over my head.
And I love a morning workout because it's like the first thing on my mind when I wake up is prioritizing myself.
Yes.
I think that's so good.
Yeah. What are your current obsessions?
Well, I will continue with the little Netflix obsession. So I have already watched Bridgerton, but my friend Jess has not. We watched the first season, and I'm telling you, I watched it maybe 2 years ago. I forgot everything. I'm shocked by everything that happens. I'm like, this show is so amazing. I can't decide if the first season or the second season is my favorite. I kind of think the second season, which no one says that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I really like the brother.
I love Anthony. I love Anthony.
Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, something
so
about
cute.
Anthony. Yeah, I agree with that. Another obsession of mine is, this is a kind of silly one, these TikToks of like the summer aesthetic. I can't wait till my life starts sounding like this TikTok sound again.
Oh, yes.
Every single time I'm watching to the end.
Yep.
Pictures and videos of people having fun at the beach with palm trees, laying in the sand. I love watching it. It makes me feel so happy. Yeah. I have caught myself smiling at my phone while I'm watching these videos.
It's like the Summer I Turn Pretty
theme
song and stuff. Yeah. Speaking of summer sounds and the fact that we're in winter right now.
Right.
So I think this is a debate because I am personally not like a skier. And again, it's because I've tried it and I'm really bad at it. So anytime someone's like, oh, a ski trip, I'm like, couldn't be me. You can find me at the bar, but that's about it.
Right.
So I'm curious, if we're thinking about winter vacations, what is the better winter vacation? Is it a trip like this to Cabo, to somewhere like Mexico or Hawaii or the Bahamas or, whatever is closest to you? Or is it like a cozy cabin, like a ski resort, a little chalet, that type of vibe?
I have lived in very cold climates and have vacationed in some pretty cold climates as well. And it's not that I don't have fun. I'm not outside. When I go on vacation, I want to be outside.
Yeah.
I want the sun on my skin. I want to come back with my skin looking a little bit crispier than I left. And I'm sorry, but going skiing, I'm not going to get that. Maybe I'll wear some cute bibs, but that's about it. I need the ocean.
Yeah, and I think the vibe of a ski resort or like a ski weekend is really cool. But because I am not a skier or a good snowboarder or anything, to pay all that money too.
Yes.
To get the pass and the clothes and the skis and all that.
Right, because it's not cheap.
Right, it's really expensive. So I feel like for me, I'm always like, no, I want to do a summer trip.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was really good at skiing and had my own gear, I would be more open to a little ski weekend. I agree with you. I think a summer vibe in the winter is the way I want to go. So I've seen a couple of memes on Instagram and other places that are talking about how January is the Monday of the year. I feel like if you can plan something in January after the holidays, whatever situation you got going on at work, whether or not you get off or not, I feel like it's so nice to plan a trip this weekend, the Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, because we usually have that Monday off, his birthday, and it's like a little 3-day getaway. And depending on where you live, it could be a quick flight anywhere, but you can just get some sun and get away and rest and recharge. And it's almost like you have the ability to turn January into a Friday.
Yes.
That's the hill I'm gonna die on.
No, I love that. I love that idea.
Because you don't want to start out the brand new year with like a sour taste in your mouth of like, oh, I hate January and it's the Monday of the year. I just feel like if you want to take control and make your January your Friday of the year, then you have all the power to do that.
But I think this also just kind of plays into, oh my gosh, I just saw a whale. Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's so many of them.
There are. Anyway, I think this kind of plays into just taking advantage of all 365 days. To take an entire month as a wash is such a waste to me. What kind of bird was that?
That was a hawk. You guys, this huge this huge
flock.
hawk
It's
just
one.
flew over our head.
Nature is alive.
Nature is alive and well right now.
Right.
No, I love that, and I agree. Can't have a whole month be a wash.
No.
Seize the day.
Seize it.
Okay.
Grab it by the bootstraps. I think we've run out.
We've run out of time.
Well, guys, we've made it to the end of today's episode, and we're going to leave you with this little note. I really hope that the rest of your January feels like a Friday.
Soak it all in, and honestly, not even just your January. Make the whole year feel like a Friday.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for listening.
We'll catch you next time on
The D-Lo.
Bye.